Hello, this is Christian. Welcome to the video for part 2 of this guestbook. Now, in the previous video, we completed building the index page. We're now going to click and build the Vue guestbook page. Okay, so let's go to the code in here. And then now we're going to go and create a file here. I'm just going to copy the index for now and Control C, Control V, and then just rename that to say view.php. Okay, so on the very top here, we are going to add a few things. Let's see, when I do the view, I'm going to add maybe a message, I guess. Well, let's see first. So here I'll just say title is fine. The title of the navigation, this part I'll leave it as is. As you can see, this is very common, so you can even move this to another function and load that instead, but I can leave that as for now. The main content will not be this anymore, right? My main content, I want to have not the welcome, but I'll have a message here to say maybe sign. Just keep that one here. Please sign my guestbook, and I'll keep that. I'll make that big. Okay. And it's not going to be thank you anymore. So in here is where we're going to be showing the form. So again, functions, right? So I'm going to do here a function call. So instead of putting all your forms in here, of course, you can build the form here first, and then you can copy it to the function, right? We can do that just so that we have the exact way we want to show this. Okay, so to show my guestbook, I'm going to build a table, and then I have my t head, and then each tr will have a th, and I'm gonna have like 4 columns, right? This will be like the I think a number, I guess number or count. I won't show the ID. I'm just gonna call it count, and then here will be like the name and email. Here would be like the comment. And the last one here, I'm going to use this to have 2 links, right? To have the links to, just like the navigation. This will be for the edit. And it's going to have an ID equals to something, right? ID equals to something. And then we'll come back. So this will be edit. I'll duplicate that. And this will be for the delete. And then it would be kind of same. It takes an ID. Okay. All right. So once I have that, then I think that's good for this one. Yeah. So now instead of showing this way here, right, I'm going to move this to a function. So I'm going to cut this out. Inside my function, I'm going to go down here and write a function. I'm going to use this to say, show or get. You can return or you don't have to return, right? So these two are returned the HTML back. Here you could do something that isn't here, so you won't return. So I can say show guest book form, or what should we call it? I guess just show guest book maybe. Yeah, show guest book. I put something like that. And then here I can exit out of that PHP mode and then go back to PHP mode down the bottom, and then I'll paste my table in here. Okay. And when I show my table, I'll just call this function and then it will show up. So back in the view in here, then I'm going to put back in PHP mode, and then I'll put show guestbook, right? And that will be rendered right in here. Okay, so when I call my function here, I need to pass in some data, right? So because I do the config here, and then I'm going to call a function. I'm not including it. I'm call a function, so this function does not have access to the database. So therefore, I must pass in this con data connection to this function. Okay, so I want to say here, I'm going to pass to it the connection string and also a table. So back to my DB file, let's go back and modify that file, includes DB. I'm going to have here another constant called a table, maybe guest, and then I'll put here the name of the table is called guests, something like that, right? Whatever you call it. I should have used singular. Okay, so I'm done with this one here, and then in the view, I'm going to pass in also the table called guest. As you can see, I'm not doing any hard coding here. Okay, and then my function call, when I receive that, I'm going to receive the connection. You can use that, and then you can use a variable, something like that. Now, you can use connection if you want. Another very common variable that you will probably use is called handle. Okay, the handle, or something called DB handle. Okay, and then that's something that relates to a database. But I'm just going to call it handle for now. Okay, and then so when I do this part, then I'm going to say, well, I don't want any padding for my, let's put here. Cell padding going to be 0. I have to remove all those cell space. It's also 0. I'll use CSS to manage that. And maybe you also want to give it a name, the table name. So let's put in the front. Is it name or class? Yeah, I mean class, so I can style it. And I'm just going to call it Guestbook table. I don't know, something like that will be fine. Then down here, when I show the body, okay, so I have the TR and then I have my TD, right? And then this part is going to be repeating, so this will be in PHP mode. Okay, so now when I do this part, I'm going to do right here, back into PHP mode, and I need to do a result, I need to do a query. So I can say query equals, right, it says select everything from the table called table. Well, I can't put it here. So again, instead of doing everything here in the same file, use a function. I know I have a function already, but this is related to a database. Okay, so instead of doing this way, you're going to go to your database file and do all your related functions in here. Okay, let me turn this, collapse this. So here you have all these functions. One function will be to maybe make the query. Okay, and this make query is something like this. So all you have to do is just basically, MySQLi query, right? And you have the link, I call this handle again, and then the query. Okay, you've seen that before, right? But I'm going to return this. And then I'm going to pass these two functions to it, these two objects to that function. Okay, so now that's reusable. And then my function down here will be to, I guess you can call it show. Well, I'm gonna not show. I'm gonna get all the records. Okay, so I'm gonna get all the records. So get all records. You go in one function there. You can have another function to get one record only. So you see how these can be very useful. And then you have the get, and then you have other functions as well, right? Function to delete one record. And then you have function to update one record. Right, you have those there. You can also have a function to delete all records. Okay, and then you have a function to insert one record. And so on. And then what do they take? Well, kind of similar here. What do you need to achieve this? You put it here. Well, I'm going to need the handle for sure. So all these need the handle. I'm going to copy this, put it here for now. They all need it. the connection. And I'm going to need also, when I get a single record, I need to know which table I'm going to get. So here I put a table variable, right? And for one record, then I also need to know which record am I looking at, right? I need to pass in the ID. So I could put here maybe ID to get the single record from this table. Okay, get all the record. Then I don't care about the ID. I just need the handle and then the table, right? Delete one record is kind of similar to this part. I need the handle, the ID, and the table. Update one, same thing, right? And then you probably do a little bit more, but we'll come back to fix that one. Insert one, same thing. I need the ID for each of those 1, 1, 1. Okay, so now we are doing the view. The views and do a show all. So I'm going to implement this one here. We'll come back and do this later in separate videos. So in here, what am I going to do? I'm going to do a query, right? The query which I have here, which is this now in the function, right? This query here. So instead of doing here, I'm going to do inside the function here. So query is going to be equal to select everything from this table. Okay. And then that's it for that one. And then you run it. So you can, instead of saying MySQLi query, I already have a function called makeQuery, right? So here you say makeQuery, and I pass in the handle, and then I pass in the query. And then, but I need to return this back to the function here so I can use it, right? So here then I'm going to return the query result. So here you return a result set, okay, because you're doing a select, right? Return that back to this function here. So in here then I'm going to have a variable called result equals to this get all records, and I pass in the connection, which is the handle, and the table called guess. And see that con is not it's not visible here, so that means I didn't call it con. What I call it? I call it handle. Yeah, that's what they call the handle. Okay. Well, the guess I can use that if I want to. It's global everywhere, I guess. But I'm going to use this variable here called table. Okay, so it's really table. So I call that function. I invoke it. I got the result back. Once the result back is back, then you can go ahead and do the while loop to loop through and display this, right? So now let's say while each row is going to be fetched from the result. Fetched, and we used the array result. Okay, if that is MySQLi. And then I'll use the loop here. I'm going to move this to the bottom down here after I finish the loop. So this will be the end of that loop. Remove that. Of course, you can do echo, but you don't have to, right? If there's a lot of HTML, then it's easier to do in HTML mode. If there's not a lot, then you can just do echo. But this one here, I'm going to have a few things in here, right? So 1 column, 2, 3, 4. I got to match my total columns here. So the first one is just a counter, a number. So here I have to have a variable, a counter. So I could do here maybe a variable called counter. I'll set the counter to 1 initially. And then outside here, I'm going to say equal to counter. And then I'll just do plus plus. It will self-increment, right? If you don't do this, you have to do a counter increment after that. Just do all at once. And then here will be the row of the name. Okay, I put some space, you can see. And I'll just delete this too for now. And then the yeah, this part is wrong. Okay, I made that incorrectly. I'll move that down here. So the row the name, and then email. This is the comment. And then here is actually this part here. Okay, so this part needs to go down here. I did that earlier, but this would be a TD down here for that last column. And the very top, I still need it though, but it's going to just say action. Let me format it so it kind of look like this one up here. Okay, so the actions will be to delete and edit. And then the ID here is from the row ID. Okay, so equal to row ID. Same thing here. This would be row ID as well. I need to do this. Sorry. I have to display that. So the row ID. So that will show up there, and this also be set to that. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay, let's save this, and let's see what it looks like. I'll refresh my page. Have an error in the file at line 60 functions. Okay, typo. So function line 60, I have an error. I probably forgot to close it somewhere. The while loop, that goes here. My table closes. Let's see. Function handle here. Result while loop. PHP. Let's try again. All right. All right. So let's see. End the file. Inspect the end of file. 60. Okay, I got that one there. Oh, yeah, maybe here. Yeah, I can't just do that, right? Gotta be PHP. Very tricky. Let's see if that goes away. All right, so here we go. I view the guestbook, and as you can see, it seems to be working. I have no content, so that's why there's no data there. Just to illustrate this, to make it work, let's go and add some data to our table. All right, so I'm going to go insert here. I'll just add some name here. Put here me. Test, hide there. Okay, and I just could go. So we got one record. Let's go back and refresh it. And there's the content, all right? So if I do a mouse over the edit, you see the bottom left down here, you see the ID equals 1. When I edit, when I delete, it's the same thing. If I click on it, you see that URL has ID equals 1. So that works perfectly nicely. So now to end this part, we're going to go and just style this to make it a little bit nice. Okay, so let's go back and add some style rule. So we had some. This part will be kind of similar to the navigation. So I'm going to add this links information to a navigation. I'll just make it look same as the navigation, like black on white and white and black. So let's go back to the CSS here. I'm going to go to the nav here. This will be in the, we call it the guest table UL. Okay, it's same as that one there. This will be kind of same. So again, guest table UL li. Then same thing here. So that guest table ULLI hover, and then these will be same. So guest table A, and then that guest table A hover. So they should be the same for that part. Now the next thing down here is we want to style the, I guess, the guest table, right? So I'll put here maybe some comment. We'll put here the guest table. and then it's called guest table. What do we want to have this look like? I guess I'm gonna make a center as well, just like the other one here. So you make a center. Again, that's how you center it. I'll make it have some padding, maybe like a 5 padding around. I want the width to be, if I do 100%, what does it look like? Okay. And well, let's see what that looks like first. And for now, let's just put a border around so we can kind of see where it is. Border, 1 pixel, solid, and black. Okay, so let's just take a look and see what it looks like. Refresh it. Okay, so it looks kind of okay. As you can see, the button already working just like that, right? And you can put a border around it. I guess I didn't put a border around it, but we could do that. And then, so this is a little bit too long. Maybe if I style it, let's see, F12. Let's do something really quick here. And I want the table to be maybe, yeah, something like that. I would say maybe what, 60%? Let's go with 60%, okay, for the width. And yeah, that should work fine. So I'm gonna put here 60%. And then up here in the navigation, I want to put a border. Okay, so all around the border. Let's go back down here. Let's see what that looks like now. Refresh it. There we go. Yeah, I had the border. So that works fine, and that looks good. Okay, I might want to, put a shaded background for that as well. And maybe as I add more data, I want to also have this like stripe. Let me add another thing here. I'm going to put here Larry Jones. Put a LJ and then hello. Okay, let's add that. So now we have 2 records. Okay, so you can see that I have 2 records. I want to alternate the color, so we'll make it so stripe. You have a shaded background here as well. So let's go back in here, and then I'm going to style the table head. So we'll do guest table t head. You just want to target only the guest table, right? You might have a different table, different color. So I want to put here for like a light gray color for that background. I want the th for each column to be maybe has a padding 10, and then just do this, have some spacing. And they're gonna have a so the guest t body or the tr, right? The tr. I wanted to alternate the stripes. We're gonna have an nth child. You're gonna do nth child. All the odd child, they will have a different background color, right? So I can choose like orange. Let's try gold. Okay. So let's see what it looks like. Okay. Let's save that. And back here. Okay, you can see that it's kind of alternate. Again, if I go and add another one, all right? So let's just do here. Just say edit, put here Mary Jane. Put here M Jane and then howdy. Okay, let's add this and then refresh it. Okay, you see that we have 3 color, but I don't want this to be it because this is the first one and the first set t head, so that's also highlighted. I want that to be removed. So that means your CSS need to be more targeted. So I don't want that general tr. I want only the t body. So t body. That's it, right? that should solve the problem. Yeah, I think that's all I need for this one. I think it looks good already. And so there we go. Have a kind of graded background, and then each will have this like orange color. You can make this a little bit different color if you want kind of have it's matching the background. I'll probably use a different color. Let's go and then change that. So for that different color, we want to say kind of same thing here. I'm going to copy this, duplicate that. Now I want the T even. Okay, all the evens is going to be a different color. So we would pick a Alice blue. Let's try the Azure. Let's see what that looks like. It's going to get a little bit light. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, so we have got orange background and so on. So that is my Vue. So back to the home page here, click on the Vue guest, and this is my guest book here. I should be able to edit. Okay, as you can see, and then delete as well. And we'll do that in the next video.